Bhagwad Gita, English transcription of verses. Chapter 2. Sanjay said, seeing Arjun overwhelmed with pity, his mind grief stricken, and his eyes full of tears, Krishna spoke the following words. Krishna said, my dear Arjun, how has this delusion overcome you in this hour of peril? It is not befitting an honorable person. It leads not to higher abodes, but to disgrace. It does not befit you to yield to unmanliness. Give up such petty weakness of heart and fight. Arjun said, Madhusudan, how can I shoot arrows in battle on men like Bhishma and Dronacharya, who are worthy of my worship? It would be better to live in this world by begging than to enjoy life by killing these noble elders who are my teachers. If we kill them, the wealth and pleasures we enjoy will be tainted with blood. We do not even know which result of this war is preferable for us, conquering them or being conquered by them. Even after killing them, we will not desire to live. Yet they have taken the side of sons of Dhritarashtra and now stand before us on the battlefield. I am confused about my duty, and I am besieged with anxiety and faint-heartedness. I am your disciple, and I surrender myself to you. Please instruct me for certain what is best for me. I can find no means of driving away the anguish that is drying up on my senses. Even if I win a prosperous and unrivaled kingdom on earth or gain sovereignty like celestial gods, I am unable to dispel the grief. Having spoken these words, Gudakesh, the chastier of enemies, addressed Rishikesh, Govind, I shall not fight, and became silent. O Dhritarashtra, thereafter in the mind of both the enemies, Sri Krishna smilingly spoke the following words to the grief-stricken Arjun. The Supreme Lord said, while you speak words of wisdom, you are mourning for that which is not worthy of grief. The wise lament neither for the living nor the dead. Never was there a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future shall any of us cease to exist. Just as the embodied soul continuously passes from childhood to youth to old age, similarly, at the time of death, the soul passes into another body. The wise are not deluded by this. O son of Kunti, the contact between the senses and the sense objects gives rise to fleeting perceptions of happiness and distress. These are non-permanent and come and go like the winter and summer seasons. You must not get agitated by them. Learn to tolerate them without being disturbed. The person who is not affected by happiness and distress and remains steady in both becomes eligible for liberation. Of the transient there is no endurance, and of the eternal there is no cessation. This has verily been observed and concluded by the seers of the truth after studying the nature of both. That which pervades the entire body, know it to be indestructible. No one can cause the destruction of the imperishable soul. Only the material body is perishable. The embodied soul within it is indestructible, immeasurable, and eternal. Therefore, fight. Neither of them is in knowledge. The one who thinks the soul can slay, and the one who thinks the soul can be slain. For truly, the soul neither kills nor it is killed. The soul is neither born nor does it ever die. nor having once existed does it ever cease to be. The soul is without birth, eternal, immortal, and ageless. It is not destroyed when the body is destroyed. How can one who knows the soul to be perishable, who knows the soul to be imperishable, eternal, unborn, and immutable, kill anyone or cause anyone to kill? As the person sheds worn out garments and wears new ones, likewise, at the time of death, the soul casts off its worn out body and enters a new one. Weapons cannot shred the soul, nor can fire burn it. Water cannot wet it, nor can wind dry it. The soul is unbreakable, incombustible. It can neither be dampened nor dried. It is everlasting in all places, unalterable, immutable, and primordial. The soul is spoken of as invisible, inconceivable, and unchangeable. Knowing this, you should not grieve for the body. If you think that the self is subject to constant birth, if, however, you think that the self is subject to constant birth and death, Arjun, even then you should not grieve like this. Death is certain for those who has been born, and rebirth is inevitable for those that have died. Therefore, you should not lament over the inevitable. All created beings are unmanifest before birth, manifest in life, and again return to unmanifest on death. So why grieve? Some see the soul as amazing, some describe it as amazing, and some hear of the soul as amazing, while others, even on hearing, cannot understand it at all. O Arjun, the soul that dwells within your body is immortal. Therefore, you should not mourn for anyone. Besides, considering your duty as a warrior, you should not waver. Indeed, for a warrior, there is no better engagement than fighting for the upholding of righteousness. O Parth, happy are the warriors to whom the opportunity to defend righteousness comes unsought, opening for them the stairway to celestial abodes. If, however, you refuse to fight this righteous war, abandoning your social duty and reputation, you will certainly incur sin. People will speak of you as a coward and a deserter. For an imperishable person, infamy is worse than death. The great generals who hold you in high esteem will think that you fled from the battlefield out of fear and thus will lose their respect for you. Your enemies will defame and humiliate you with unkind words, disparaging your might. What could be more painful than that? If you fight, you will either be slain on the battlefield and go to the celestial abodes, or you will gain victory and enjoy kingdom on earth. Therefore, arise with determination and prepare to fight. Fight for the sake of duty, treating alike happiness and distress, loss and gain, victory and defeat. Fulfilling your responsibility in this way, you will never incur sin. I have explained to you Sankhya Yoga, the analytical knowledge regarding the nature of soul. Now listen as I reveal Buddhi Yoga, the yoga of intellect. When you work with such understanding, you will be freed from the bondage of karma. Working in this state of consciousness, there is no loss or adverse result, and even a little effort saves one from great danger. The intellect of those who are on this path is resolute, and their aim is one pointed, but the intellect of those who are irresolute is many branched. Those with limited understanding get attracted to the flowery words of the Vedas, which advocate ostentatious rituals for the elevation of the celestial abodes and presume no higher principle is described in them. They glorify only those portions of the Vedas that please their senses and perform pompous rituals, ceremonies for attaining high birth, opulence, sensual enjoyment, and elevation to the heavenly planets. With their minds deeply attached to the worldly pleasures and their intellects bewildered by such things, they are unable to possess the resolute determination for success on path of God. The Vedas deal with three modes of material nature, O Arjun. Rise above these three modes to a state of pure spiritual consciousness, freeing yourself from the dualities, eternally fixed in truth, and without concern for material gain and safety, be situated in self. Whatever purpose is served by a small well of water is naturally served in all respects by a large lake. Similarly, one who realizes the absolute truth also fulfills the purpose of all Vedas. You have a right to perform your prescribed duties, but you are not entitled to the fruits of your actions. Never consider yourself to be the cause of the results of your activities, nor be attached to inaction. By steadfast, be steadfast in the performance of your duties, abandoning attachment to success and failure. Such equanimity is called yoga. Seek refuge in divine knowledge and discard reward seeking actions that are certainly inferior to works performed with intellect established in divine knowledge. Miserly are those who seek to enjoy the fruits of their work. Those who prudently practice the science of work without attachment can get rid of both good and bad reactions in this life itself. Therefore, strive for yoga, which is the art of working skillfully in proper consciousness. The wise, endowed with equanimity of intellect, abandon attachment to fruits of action, which bind one to the cycle of life and death. By working in such consciousness, they attain the state of beyond all suffering. When your intellect crosses the quagmire of delusion, you will acquire indifference to what has been heard and what is yet to be heard about enjoyments in the world and the next. When their intellect ceases to be allured by the fruitive sections of the Vedas and remains steadfast in divine consciousness, you will attain the state of perfect yoga. Arjun asked, "O Keshav, what is the disposition of one who is situated in divine consciousness? How does an enlightened person talk? How does he sit? How does he walk?" Krishna said, "When one discards all selfish desires and cravings of the senses that torment the mind and becomes satisfied in the realization of the self, such a person is said to be transcendentally situated. One whose mind remains undisturbed amidst misery and who does not crave pleasures and who is free from attachment, fear, and anger is called a sage of steady wisdom. One who remains unattached under all conditions and is neither delighted by good fortune nor dejected by tribulation. He is a sage with perfect knowledge. One who is able to senses from their objects, just as a tortoise withdraws its limbs into its shell, is established in divine wisdom. Aspirants may restrain the senses from their objects of enjoyment, but the taste for the sense object remains. However, even this taste ceases for those who realize the Supreme. Aspirants may restrain the senses from their objects of sensual gratification, but the taste for the sense enjoyment remains. Even this taste will cease for those who realize the Supreme. The senses are so strong and turbulent that they can forcibly carry away the mind even of a person endowed with discrimination who practices self control. They are established in perfect knowledge, who subdue their senses and keep their minds ever absorbed in me. While contemplating on objects of senses, one develops attachment to them. Attachment leads to desire, and from desire arises anger. Anger leads to clouding or judgment, which results in bewilderment of memory. When memory is bewildered, the intellect gets destroyed, and when intellect is destroyed, one is ruined. But one who controls the mind and is free from attachment and aversion, even while using objects of the senses, attains grace of God. By divine grace comes the peace in which all sorrows end, and the intellect of such a person of tranquil mind soon becomes firmly established in God. But an undisciplined person who has not controlled his mind and senses can never have a resolute intellect nor steady contemplation of God. For one who never unites the mind with God, there is no peace. And how can one who lacks peace be happy? Just as a strong wind sweeps a boat off its chartered course on the water, even one of the senses on which the mind focuses can lead the intellect astray. Therefore, what all beings consider as day is the night of ignorance for the wise, and what all creatures see night is the day for the introspective sage. Just as the ocean remains undisturbed by the continuous flow of waters from rivers merging into it, likewise the sage who is unmoved despite the flow of desirable objects all around him attains peace, and not the person who strives to satisfy their desires. The person who gives up all material desires and lives free from sense of greed, proprietorship and egoism attains perfect peace. O Parth, such is the state of an enlightened soul, that having attained it, one is never again deluded. Being established in this consciousness, even at the hour of death, one is liberated from the cycle of life and death and reaches supreme abode. Chapter 3. O Janardhan, if you consider knowledge superior to action, then why do you ask me to wage this terrible war? My intellect is bewildered by your ambiguous advice. Please tell me decisively the one path by which I may attain the highest good. Krishna said, O Sinless One, two paths lead to enlightenment and were previously explained by me. The path of knowledge for those inclined towards contemplation, and path of work for those inclined towards action. One cannot achieve freedom from karmic reactions by merely abstaining from work, nor can one attain perfection of knowledge by mere physical renunciation. There is no one who can remain without action even for a moment. Indeed, all beings are compelled to act by their qualities born of the material nature, the three gunas. Those who restrain the external organs of action while continuing to dwell on sense objects in the mind certainly delude themselves and are to be called hypocrites. But those karma yogis who control their knowledge senses with the mind and engage the working senses in working without attachment are superior. You should perform your prescribed Vedic duties since action is superior to inaction. By ceasing activity, even your bodily maintenance will not be possible. Work must be done as a yajna to the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, work causes bondage in this material world. For the satisfaction of God, perform your prescribed duties without being attached to the results. In the beginning of creation, Brahma created humankind along with duties and said, prosper in the performance of these yagyas, sacrifice, for they shall bestow upon you all you wish to achieve. By your sacrifices, the celestial gods will be pleased, and by cooperation between human and celestial gods, great prosperity will reign for all. The celestial gods, being satisfied by the performance of sacrifice, will grant you your desired necessities of life. But those who enjoy what is given to them without making offering in return are thieves. The spiritually minded who eat food that is first offered in sacrifice are released from all kinds of sin. Others who cook food for their own enjoyment verily eat only sin. All living beings subsist on food, and the food is produced by rains. Rain comes from performance of sacrifice, and sacrifice is produced by performance of prescribed duties. The duties for human beings are described in the Vedas, and the Vedas are manifested by God Himself. Therefore, the all pervading Lord is eternally present in acts of sacrifice. Those who do not accept their responsibilities in the cycle of sacrifice established by Vedas are sinful. They live only for the delight of their senses. Indeed, their lives are in vain. But those who rejoice in the self, who are illumined and fully satisfied in the self, for them there is no duty. Such realized souls have nothing to gain or lose, either in discharging or renouncing their duties, nor do they need to depend on other living beings to fulfill their self interest. Therefore, giving up attachment, perform actions as a matter of duty, because by working without being attached to the fruits, one attains the supreme. By performing their prescribed duties, King Janak and others attained perfection. You should also perform your duties to set an example for the good of the world. Whatever actions great persons perform, common people follow. Whatever standards they set, all the world pursues. There is no duty for me to do in all three worlds, nor do I have anything to gain or attain. Yet I am engaged in prescribed duties. For if I did not carefully perform prescribed duties, all men would follow my path in all respects. If I ceased to perform prescribed actions, all these worlds would perish. I would be responsible for the pandemonium that would prevail and that would destroy the peace of human race. As ignorant people perform their duties with attachment to the results, so should the wise act without attachment for the sake of leading people on the right path. The wise should not create discord in the intellects of the ignorant people who are attached to fruitive actions by inducing them to stop work. Rather, by performing their duties in an enlightened manner, they should inspire the ignorant also to do their prescribed duties. All activities carried out by the three modes of material nature, but in ignorance, the soul, deluded by false identification of the body, thinks itself to be the doer. The illumined person distinguishes the soul as distinct from gunas and karmas. They perceive that it is only the gunas in the shape of senses, mind, and others that move among the gunas in the shape of objects of perception, and also they do not get entangled in them. Those who are deluded by the operation of the gunas become attached to the results of their action. But the wise who understand these truths should not unsettle such ignorant people who know very little. Performing all works as an offering unto me, constantly meditate on me as the Supreme. Become free from the desire and selfishness, and with a mental grief departed, fight. Those who abide by these teachings of mine, who with profound faith and free from envy, are released from the bondage of karma. But those who find faults in my teaching, being bereft of knowledge and devoid of discrimination, they disregard these principles and bring about their own ruin. Even wise people act according to their natures, for all living beings are propelled by their natural tendencies. What will one gain by repression? The senses naturally experience attachment and aversion to the sense objects, but do not be controlled by them, for they are waylayers and foes. It is far better to perform one's natural prescribed duties, through though tinged with faults, than to perform another's prescribed duty, though perfectly. In fact, it is preferable to die in discharge of one's duty than to follow the path of another, which is fraught with danger. Why is a person impelled to commit sinful acts, even willfully, even unwillingly, as if by force, O Krishna? The Supreme Lord said, "It is the lust alone, which is born of contact with modes of passion and later transformed into anger. Know this as the sinful, all devouring enemy in the world. Just as a fire is covered by smoke, a mirror is masked by dust, and an embryo is concealed by womb. Similarly, one's knowledge is shrouded by desire. The knowledge of even the most discerning gets covered by this perpetual enemy in the form of insatiable desire, which is never satisfied and burns like a fire. The senses, mind, and intellect are said to be the breeding grounds of desire. Through them, it clouds one's knowledge and deludes the embodied soul. Therefore, in the very beginning, bring the senses under control and slay this enemy called desire, which is the embodiment of sin and destroys knowledge and realization. The senses are superior to gross body, and superior to the senses is the mind. Beyond the mind is the intellect, and even beyond the intellect is the soul. Thus, knowing soul to be superior to material intellect, O mighty Arjun, subdue the lower senses, mind, intellect, by the higher self, strength of the soul, and this formidable enemy called lust. Chapter 4. The Supreme Lord Krishna said, I taught this eternal science of yoga to the sun god Vivaswan, who passed it to Manu, and Manu in turn instructed it to Ishvaku. O subduer of enemies, the saintly kings thus received this science of yoga in a continuous tradition. But with the long passage of time, it was lost to the world. The same ancient knowledge of yoga, which is the supreme secret, I am today revealing unto you, because you are my friend and my devotee, who can understand this transcendental wisdom. Arjun asked, You were born much after Vivaswan. How am I to understand that in the beginning you instructed the science to him? The Supreme Lord said, Both you and I have had many births, and you have forgotten them all while I remember them all. Although I am unborn, the Lord of all living entities, and I am imperishable nature, yet I appear in the world by virtue of my Yog Maya, that my divine power. Whenever there is a decline in righteousness and increase in unrighteousness, at that time I manifest myself on the earth. To protect the righteous, to annihilate the wicked, and to re-establish the principles of Dharma, I appear on this earth age after age. Those who understand the divine nature of my birth and activities upon leaving the body do not have to take birth again, but come to my eternal abode. Being free from attachment, fear, and anger, becoming fully absorbed in me, and taking refuge in me, Many persons in the past become purified by knowledge of me and thus attained my divine love. In whatever way people surrender unto me, I reciprocate accordingly. Everyone follows my path, knowingly or unknowingly. In this world, those desiring success in material activities worship the celestial gods, since material rewards manifest quickly. The four categories of occupation were created by me according to people's qualities and activities. Although I am the creator of this system, know me to be the non doer and eternal. Activities do not taint me, nor do I desire the fruits of action. One who knows me in this way is never bound by the karmic reactions of work. Knowing this truth, even seekers of liberation in the ancient times performed activities. Therefore, following the footsteps of those ancient sages, you should perform your duty. What is action and what is inaction? Even the wise are confused in determining this. Now I shall explain to you the secret of action, by knowing which you may free yourself from material bondage. You must understand the nature of all three: recommended action, wrong action, and inaction. The truth about these is profound and difficult to understand. Those who see inaction in action and action in inaction are the wise among humans. Although performing all kinds of actions, they are yogis and masters of their own actions. The enlightened sages call those persons wise whose every action is free from desire and material pleasures and who have burned the reactions of work in the fire of divine knowledge. Such people, having given up attachment to the fruits of their actions, are always satisfied and not dependent on external things. Despite engaging in activities, they do not do anything at all. Free from expectations and sense of ownership, with the mind and intellect fully controlled, they incur no sin, even though performing actions by their body. Content with whatever gain comes of its own accord, and free from envy, they are beyond the dualities of life. Being equiposed in success and failure, they are not bound by actions, even while performing all kinds of activities. They are released from the bondage of material attachments, and their intellect is established in divine knowledge. Since they perform all actions as a sacrifice to God, they are freed from all karmic reactions. For those who are completely absorbed in God consciousness, the oblation is Brahman. The ladle with which it is offered is Brahman. The act of offering is Brahman. And the sacrificial fire is also Brahman. Such persons who view everything as God easily attain Him. Some yogis worship the celestial gods with material offerings unto them. Others worship perfectly who offer the self as sacrifice in the fire of supreme truth. Others offer hearing and other senses in the sacrificial fire of restraint, since others often offer sound and other objects of the senses as sacrifice in the fire of senses. Others offer hearing and other senses in the sacrificial fire of restraint. Still others offer sound and other objects of senses as sacrifice in the fire of the senses. Some, inspired by knowledge, offer the functions of all their senses and their life energy in the fire of controlled mind. Some offer their wealth as sacrifice, while others offer severe austerities as sacrifice. Some practice the eightfold path of yogic practices, and yet others study the scriptures and cultivate knowledge as the sacrifice while observing strict vows. Still others offer as sacrifice the outgoing breath in the incoming breath, while some offer this incoming breath into the outgoing breath. Some arduously practice pranayama and restrain the incoming and outgoing breaths, purely absorbed in the regulation of life energies. Yet others curtail their food intake and offer the breath into the life energy as sacrifice. All these knowers of sacrifice are cleansed of their impurities as a result of these performances. Those who know the secret of sacrifice, engaging in it, partake of its remnants that are like nectar, advance towards the absolute truth. Those who perform no sacrifice find no happiness either in this world or the next. All those different kinds of sacrifice have been described in the Vedas. Know them as originating from different types of work. This understanding cuts the knots of material bondage. O subduer of enemies, sacrifice performed in knowledge is superior to any mechanical material sacrifice. After all sacrifice of work culminate in knowledge. Learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him with reverence and render service unto him. Such an enlightened saint can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. Following this path and having achieved enlightenment from a guru, you will no longer fall into delusion. In the light of that knowledge, you will see that all living beings are but parts of the Supreme and are within me. Even those who are considered the most immoral of all sinners can cross over this ocean of material existence by seating themselves in the boat of divine knowledge. As a kindled fire reduces wood to ashes, so does the fire of knowledge burn to ashes all reactions from material activities. In this world, there is nothing as purifying as divine knowledge. For though for one who has attained purity of mind through prolonged practice of yoga, receives this knowledge within the heart in due course of time. Those whose faith is deep and who have practiced controlling their mind and senses attain divine knowledge. Through such transcendental knowledge, they quickly attain everlasting supreme peace. But persons who possess neither faith nor knowledge and who are of doubting nature suffer a downfall. For the skeptical soul, there is no happiness either in this world or the next. Actions do not bind those who have renounced karma in the fire of yoga, whose doubts have been dispelled by knowledge, and who are situated in knowledge of the self. Therefore, with the sword of knowledge, cut asunder the doubts that have risen in your heart. Establish yourself in karma yoga, arise, stand up, and take action. Arjun said, O Shri Krishna, you praised karma sannyasis, the path of renunciation of actions, and you also advised to do karma yoga, work with devotion. Which of them is more beneficial? Krishna, both the path of karma sannyasis, renunciation of actions, and karma yoga, working in devotion, lead to the supreme goal. But Karma Yoga is superior to Karma Sannyas. The Karma Yogis, who neither desire nor hate anything, should always be considered renounced. Free from all duties, they are easily liberated from the bonds of material energy. Only the ignorant speak of Sankhya, renunciation of actions or Karma Sannyasis, and Karma Yoga, working in devotion, as different. Those who are truly learned say that by applying ourselves to any of these two paths, we can achieve the results of both. The supreme state that is attained by means of karma sannyasis is also attained by working in devotion, karma yoga. Hence, those who see karma sannyas and karma yoga to be identical truly see things as they are. Perfect renunciation, karma sannyas, is difficult to attain without performing karma yoga or work in devotion. O mighty armed Arjun, But the sage who is adept in Karma Yoga quickly attains the supreme. Karma yogis who are of purified intellect and who control the mind and senses see the soul of all souls in every being. Though performing all kinds of actions, they are never entangled. Those steadfast in Karma Yoga always think, I am not the doer, even while engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, moving, sleeping, breathing, speaking, excreting, grasping, and opening or closing the eyes. With the light of divine knowledge, they see that it is only the material senses that are moving amongst their objects. Those who dedicate their actions to God, abandoning all attachment, remain untouched by sin, just as a lotus leaf is untouched by water. The yogis, while giving up attachment, perform actions with their body, mind, senses, and intellect only for the purpose of self purification. Offering the results of all activities to God, the Karm Sannyasi attain everlasting peace, whereas those being impelled by their desires work with a selfish motive become entangled because they are attached to the fruits of their actions. The embodied beings who are self controlled and detached reside happily in the city of nine gates, free from thoughts that are the doers or the cause of anything. Neither the sense of doership nor the nature of actions comes from God. He creates the fruits of actions. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature or gunas. The omnipresent God does not involve himself in the sinful or virtuous deeds of anyone. The living entities are deluded because of their inner knowledge is covered by ignorance. But for those whose ignorance is destroyed by divine knowledge, the supreme entity is revealed, just as the sun illumines everything when it rises. Those whose intellect is fixed in God, who are completely absorbed in God, with firm faith in Him as the supreme goal, such persons quickly reach the state from which there is no return, and their sins have been dispelled by the light of knowledge. The truly learned, when the eyes of divine knowledge, truly learned with the eyes of divine knowledge, see with a equal vision a Brahmin, a cow, an elephant, a dog, and a dog eater. Those whose minds are established in equality of vision conquer the cycle of birth and death in every life, in this very life. These possess the flawless qualities of God and are therefore seated in the absolute truth. Established in God, having a firm understanding of divine knowledge and not hampered by delusion, they neither rejoice in getting something pleasant nor grieve on experiencing the unpleasant. Those who are not attached to external sense pleasures realized divine bliss in the self. Being united with God through yoga, they experience unending happiness. The pleasure that arises from contact with the sense objects, though appearing as enjoyable to worldly minded people, are verily a source of misery. Such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and the wise do not delight in them. Those persons are yogis who, before giving up the body, are able to check the forces of desire and anger, as they alone are happy. Those who are happy within themselves, enjoying the delight of God within, and are illumined by inner light, such yogis are united with the Lord and are liberated by from material existence. Those holy persons whose sins have been purged, whose doubts are annihilated, whose minds are disciplined, and who are devoted to the welfare of all beings, attain God and are liberated from material existence. For those sannyasis who have broken out of anger and lust through constant effort, who have subdued their mind and are self realized, liberation from material existence is both here and hereafter, shutting out all thoughts of external enjoyment with the fixed gaze on the space between the eyebrows, equalizing the flow of incoming and outgoing breath in the nostrils, and thus controlling the senses, mind, and intellect. The sage who becomes free from all desires, fear, and anger always live in freedom. Having realized me as the enjoyer of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all worlds and selfless friend of all living beings, my devotees attain peace. Chapter 6. Krishna said, the Supreme Lord said, those who perform prescribed duties without desiring the results of their actions are actual sannyasis, renunciates, and yogis, not those who have merely ceased performing sacrifices such as Agnihotra Yagna or abandoned bodily activities. What is known as sannyasis is non-different from yoga, for none become yogis without renouncing worldly desires. To the soul who is aspiring for perfection in yoga, work without attachment is said to be the means. To the sage who is already elevated in yoga, tranquility in meditation is said to be the means. When one is neither attached to sense objects nor to action, such a person is said to be elevated in the science of yoga, having renounced all desires for the fruits of actions. Elevate yourself through the power of your mind and not degrade yourself, for the mind can be the friend and also the enemy of the self. For those who have conquered the mind, it is their friend. For those who have failed to conquer the mind is their enemy. The yogi who have conquered the mind rise above the dualities of cold and heat, joy and sorrow, honor and dishonor. Such yogis remain peaceful and steadfast in their devotion to God. The yogi who are satisfied by knowledge and discrimination and have conquered their senses remain undisturbed in all circumstances. They see everything, dirt, stone, and gold, as the same. The yogis look upon all well-wishers, friends, foes, the pious and the sinner with an impartial intellect. The yogi who is of equal intellect towards friends, companion, enemy, neutral among enemies and relatives, and unbiased between the righteous and the sinful is considered to be distinguished among humans. Those who seek the state of yoga should reside in seclusion, constantly engaged in meditation with a controlled mind and body, getting rid of desires and possessions for enjoyment. To practice yoga, one should make an asan, a seat, in a sanctified place by placing kushi grass, deer skin, and a cloth one over the other. The asana should be neither too high nor too low. Seated firmly on it, the yogi should strive to purify the mind by focusing in meditation with one pointed concentration, controlling all thoughts and activities. He must hold the body, neck, and head firmly in a straight line and gaze at the tip of his nose without allowing the eyes to wander. Thus, with a serene, fearless, unwavering mind and staunch in vow of celibacy, the vigilant yogi should meditate on me, having me alone as the supreme goal. Thus, constantly keeping the mind absorbed in me, the yogis of disciplined mind attains nirvana and abides in me in supreme peace. O Arjun, those who can eat too much or too little, sleep too much or too little, cannot attain success in yoga. For those who are temperate in eating and recreation, balanced in work, and regulated in sleep, can mitigate all sorrows by practicing yoga. With thorough discipline, they learn to withdraw the senses from selfish cravings and riveted on the unsurpassable good of self. Such persons are said to be in yoga and are free from the yearning of the senses. Just as a lamp in a windless place does not flicker, so does the disciplined mind of a yogi remain steadfast in meditation of the Supreme. When the mind, restrained from material activities, becomes still by the practice of yoga, then the yogi is able to behold the soul through purified mind and rejoices in the inner joy. In the joyous state of yoga called samadhi, one experiences supreme boundless divine bliss, and thus situated, one never deviates from the eternal truth. Having gained the state, one does not consider any attainment to be greater. Being thus established, one is not shaken, even in the midst of great calamity. The state of severance from union with misery is known as yoga. This yoga should be resolutely practiced with determination, free from pessimism. Completely renouncing all desire arising from thoughts of the world, one should restrain the senses from all sides with the mind. Slowly and steadily, with conviction in the intellect, the mind will become fixed on God alone and will think of nothing else. Whenever and wherever the restless and unsteady mind wanders, one should bring it back and continually focus it on God. Great transcendental happiness comes to the yogi whose mind is calm, whose passions are subdued, who is without sin, and who sees everything in connection with God. The self controlled yogi, thus uniting the self with God, becomes free from material contamination and, being in constant touch with the Supreme, achieves the highest state of perfect happiness. The true yogis, uniting their consciousness with God, see with equal eye all living beings in God and God in all living beings. For those who see me everywhere and see all things in me, I am never lost, nor are they lost to me. The yogis who are established in union with me and worship me as the Supreme Soul, residing in all beings, dwell only in me, though engaged in all kinds of activities. I regard them to be perfect yogis who see the true equality of living beings and respond to the joy and sorrow of others as if they were their own. Arjun said, the system of yoga that you have described appears impractical, unattainable to me due to the restless mind. The mind is very restless, turbulent, strong, and obstinate. It appears to me it is more difficult to control than the wind. Krishna, what you say is correct. The mind is indeed very difficult to restrain, but by the practice and detachment, abhyas and sannyas, it can be controlled. Yoga is difficult to attain for one whose mind is unbridled. However, those who have learned to control the mind and who strive earnestly by proper means can attain perfection in yoga. This is my opinion. Arjun asks, what is the fate of the unsuccessful yogi who begins the path with faith but who does not endeavor sufficiently due to an unsteady mind and unable to reach the goal of yoga in this life? Does not such a person who deviates from yoga get deprived of both material and spiritual success and perish like a broken cloud with no position in either sphere? Krishna, please dispel this doubt of mine. Krishna, O Parth, one who engages on the spiritual path does not meet with destruction either in this world or the world to come. One who strives for God realization is never overcome by evil. The unsuccessful yogi, upon death, go to the abodes of the virtuous. After dwelling there for many years, they are again reborn in the earth plane into a family of pious and prosperous people. Else, if they had developed dispassion due to long practice of yoga, they are born in a family endowed with divine wisdom. Such a birth is very difficult to attain in this world. On taking such a birth, they reawaken the wisdom of their past lives and strive even harder towards perfection in yoga. Indeed, they feel drawn towards God, even against their will, on the strength of their past discipline. Such seekers naturally arise above the ritualistic principles of the scriptures. With the accumulated merits of many past births, when these yogis engage in sincere endeavors to make further progress, they become purified from material desires and attain perfection in this life itself. A yogi is superior to the tapasvi, ascetic, superior to the jnani, learned, and even superior to the karmi, ritualistic performer. Therefore, strive to be a yogi. Of all yogis, those whose minds are always absorbed in me and who engage in devotion to me with great faith, them I consider to be the highest of all. Chapter 7. Krishna said, "Now listen, Arjun. With the mind exclusively attached to me and surrendering to me through the practice of Bhakti Yoga, you can know me completely and free from doubt. I will now reveal to you this knowledge and wisdom, knowing which nothing else remains to be known in this world. Amongst thousands of persons, hardly one strives for perfection, and among those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth. Earth, water, fire, air, space, mind, intellect, ego. These are the eight components of my material energy. Such is my material inferior energy, but beyond it I have a superior energy. This is called the Jiva Shakti, the soul energy, which comprises the embodied souls who are the basis of life in this world. Know that all living beings are manifested by two energies of mine. I am the source of entire creation, and to me it again dissolves. There is nothing higher than myself. Everything rests in me as beads strung on a thread. I am the taste in the water, the radiance of the sun and the moon. I am the secret syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether and the ability in the humans. I am the pure fragrance of earth and the brilliance in fire. I am the life force in all beings and the penance of the ascetics. O Arjun, know that I am the eternal seed of all beings. I am the intellect of the intelligent and the splendor of the glorious. In strong persons, I am their strength, devoid of desire and passion. I am sexual activity not conflicting with virtue or scriptural injunctions. The three states of material existence, goodness, passion, ignorance, are manifested by my energy. They are in me, but I am beyond them. Deluded by the three modes of Maya, people in the world are unable to know me, the imperishable and eternal. My divine energy Maya, consisting of the three modes of nature, is very difficult to overcome, but those who surrender unto me cross over it easily. Four kinds of people do not surrender unto me: those ignorant of knowledge, those who lazily follow their lower nature, though capable of knowing me, those with deluded intellect, and those with a demonic nature. The four kinds of pious people engage in my devotion: the distressed, the seekers of knowledge, the seekers of worldly possession, and those who are situated in knowledge. Amongst these, I consider them to be the highest who worship me with knowledge and who are steadfastly and exclusively devoted to me. I am very dear to them, and they are very dear to me. All those who are devoted to me are indeed noble, but those in knowledge who are steadfast mind, whose intellect is merged in me, and who have made me alone as their supreme goal, I consider as my very self. After many births of spiritual practice, one who is endowed with knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be all that is. Such a great soul is indeed very rare. Those whose knowledge has been carried away by material desires surrender to the celestial gods. Following their own nature, they worship the devatas, practice ritual means to propitiate these celestial personalities. Whatever celestial form a devotee seeks to worship with faith, I study that faith of such a devotee in that form. Endowed with faith, the devotee worships a particular celestial god and obtains the objects of desire. But in reality, I alone arrange those benefits. But the fruit gained by these people of little understanding is perishable. Those who worship celestial gods go to the celestial gods' abodes, while devotees, my devotees, come to me. The less intelligent think that I, the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, was formless earlier and now have assumed this personality. They do not understand the imperishable, exalted nature of my personal form. I am not manifest to everyone, being veiled by my divine Yog Maya energy. Hence, those without knowledge do not know what I am without birth. No, do not know that I am without birth and changeless. I know of past, present, and future, and I also know living beings, but me no one knows. The dualities of desire and aversion arise from illusion. All living beings in the material realm are deluded by these. But persons whose sins have been destroyed by engaging in pious activities become free from illusion of dualities. Such persons worship me with determination. Those who take shelter in me, striving for liberation from old age and death, come to know the Brahman, the individual self, and the entire field of karmic action. Those who know me as the governing principle of Adi Bhut, field of matter, Adi Dev, the celestial gods, and as Adi Yagna, the lord of all sacrificial performances, such enlightened souls are in full consciousness of me even at the time of death. Chapter 8. Arjun said, what is Brahman? What is Adhyatma, the individual soul? And what is Karma? What is said to be Adi Bhut? Who is Adi Dev? Who is Adi Yagya in the body? And how is he the Adi Yagya? How are you to be known at the time of death by those of steadfast mind? Krishna, the supreme indestructible entity, is called Brahman. One's own self is called Adhyatma. Actions pertaining to the material personality of living beings and its development are called karma or fruitive activities. The physical manifestation that is constantly changing is called Adi Bhut, the universal form of God which presides over the celestial gods in this creation is called Adi Dev. I who dwell in the heart of every living being, I am Adi Yagna, or the Lord of all sacrifices. Those who relinquish the body while remembering me at the moment of death will come to me. There is certainly no doubt about this. Whatever one remembers upon giving up the body at the time of death, one attains that state, being always absorbed in such contemplation. Therefore, always remember me and also do your duty of fighting the war. With mind and intellect surrendered to me, you will definitely attain me. Of this, there is no doubt. With practice, when you are constantly engaged the mind in remembering me, the Supreme Divine Personality, without deviating, you will certainly attain me. God is omniscient, the most ancient one, the controller, the subtler than the subtlest, and support of all, and possessor of an inconceivable divine form. He is brighter than the sun and beyond all darkness of ignorance, one who, at the time of death, with unmoving mind attained by practice of yoga, fixes the prana between the eyebrows and steadily remembers the divine Lord with great devotion attains him. Scholars of the Vedas describe him as imperishable. Great ascetics practice the vow of celibacy and renounce worldly pleasures to enter into him. I shall now explain to you briefly the path to that goal. restraining all the gates of the body and fixing the mind in the heart region, and then drawing the life breath to the head, one should get established in the steadfast yogic concentration. One who departs from the body while remembering me, the Supreme Personality, and chanting the syllable Om, will attain the supreme goal. For those yogis who always think of me with exclusive devotion, I am easily attainable because of their constant absorption in me. Having attained me, the great souls are no more subject to rebirth in this world, which is transient and full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. In all the worlds of this material creation, up to the highest abode of Brahma, you will be subject to rebirth. But on attaining my abode, there is no future rebirth. One day of Brahma Kalp lasts 1,000 cycles of 4 ages, Mahayug, and his night also extends for the same span of time. The wise who know this understand the reality about day and night. At the advent of Brahma's day, all living beings emanate from the unmanifest source, and at the fall of his night, all embodied beings again merge into their unmanifest source. Multitudes of beings repeatedly take birth, and with the advent of Brahma's day, are also reabsorbed on the arrival of the cosmic night, to manifest again automatically on the advent of the next cosmic day. Transcendental to this manifest and unmanifest creation, there is yet another unmanifest eternal dimension. That realm does not cease even when all others do. That manifest dimension is the supreme goal, and upon reaching it, one never returns to the mortal world. That is my supreme abode. The Supreme Divine Personality is greater than all that exists. Although He is all pervading and all living beings are situated in Him, yet He can be known only through devotion. I shall now describe to you the different paths of passing away from this world, one of which leads to liberation and the other leads to rebirth. Those who know the Supreme Brahman and who depart from this world during the 6 months of the sun's northern course, the bright fortnight of the moon, and the bright part of the day, attain the supreme destination. The practitioners of Vedic ritual who pass away during the 6 months of the sun's southern course, the dark fortnight of the moon, the time of smoke, the night, attain celestial abodes. After enjoying celestial pleasures, they again return to the earth. These two, bright and dark paths, always exist in the world. The way of light leads to liberation, and the way of darkness leads to rebirth. Yogis who know the secret of these two paths are never bewildered. Therefore, at all times, be situated in yoga, union with God. The yogis who know this secret gain merit far beyond the fruits of Vedic rituals, the study of Vedas, the performance of sacrifices, austerities, and charities. Such yogis reach the supreme abode. Chapter 9. Krishna said, O Arjun, because you are not envious of me, I shall now impart to you this very confidential knowledge of and wisdom, upon knowing which you will be released from the miseries of material existence. This knowledge is the king of sciences and the most profound of all secrets. It purifies those who hear it. It is directly realizable in accordance with dharma, easy to practice and everlasting in effect. People who have no faith in this dharma are unable to attain me, O conqueror of enemies. They repeatedly come back to this world in the cycle of birth and death. This entire cosmic manifestation is pervaded by me in my unmanifest form. All living beings dwell in me, but I do not dwell in them. And yet the living beings do not abide in me. Behold the mystery of my divine energy. Although I am the creator and sustainer of all living beings, I am not influenced by them or by my material nature. Know that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, likewise all living beings always rest in me. At the end of one kalp, all living beings merge into my primordial material energy. At the beginning of next creation, I manifest them again. Presiding over my material energy, I generate those myriad forms again and again in accordance with the force of their natures. None of these actions bind me. I remain like a neutral observer, ever detached from these actions. Working under my direction, this material energy brings into being all animate and inanimate forms. For this reason, the material world undergoes the changes of creation, maintenance, and dissolution. When I descend into my personal form, deluded persons are unable to recognize me. They do not know the divinity of my personality as the supreme Lord of all beings. Bewildered by the material energy, such persons emanate demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded state, their hopes for welfare are in vain, their fugitive actions are wasted, and their culture of knowledge is baffled. But the great souls who take shelter of my divine energy, Lord Krishna as the origin of all creation, they engage in my devotion with their minds fixed exclusively on me, always singing my divine glories, striving with great determination, and humbly bowing down before me. They constantly worship me in loving devotion. Others engaging in the yajna of cultivating knowledge worship me by many methods. Some see me as the undifferentiated oneness that is non different from them, while others see me as separate from them. Still others worship me in the infinite manifestations of cosmic form. It is I who am the Vedic ritual. I am the sacrifice. I am the oblation offered to the ancestors. I am the medicinal herb and I am the Vedic mantra. I am the clarified butter. I am the fire and the act of offering. Of this universe, I am the father. I am also the mother, sustainer, and the grandsire. I am purifier, the goal of knowledge, the syllable Om. I am the Rig Veda, Samaveda, and the Yajur Veda. I am the supreme goal of all living beings, and I am also sustainer, master, witness, abode, shelter, and friend. I am the origin, end, and resting place of creation. I am the repository and eternal seed. I radiate heat as the sun, and I withhold as well as send forth rain. I am immortality as well as death personified. I am the spirit as well as the matter. Those who are inclined to the fruitive activity described in Vedas worship me through ritualistic sacrifices. Being purified from sin by drinking the soma juice, which is the remnant of the yajna, they seek to go to heaven. By virtue of their pious deeds, they go to the abode of Indra, king of heaven, and enjoy pleasures of celestial gods. When they have enjoyed the vast pleasures of heaven, the stock of their merits being exhausted, they return to the earthly plane. Thus, those who follow the Vedic rituals desire objects of enjoyment repeatedly come and go into this world. Therefore, there are those who always think of me and engage in exclusive devotion to me. To them whose minds are always absorbed in me, I provide what they lack and preserve what they possess. Even those devotees who faithfully worship other gods also worship me, but they do so by the wrong method. I am the enjoyer and the only Lord of all sacrifices, but those who fail to realize my divine nature must be reborn. Worshippers of celestial gods take birth among the celestial gods. Worshippers of ancestors go to the ancestors. Worshippers of ghosts take birth among such beings, and my devotees come to me alone. It if one offers if one offers to me with devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I delightfully partake of that item offered with love by my devotee in pure consciousness. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer as oblation to the sacred fire, whatever you bestow as gift, and whatever austerities you perform, do them as offering to me. By dedicating all your works to me, you will be freed from the bondage of good and bad results. With your mind attached to me through renunciation, you will be liberated and will reach me. I am equally adopted, I am equally disposed to all living beings. I am neither inimical nor partial to anyone, but the devotees who worship me with love reside in me, and I reside in them. Even if the vilest sinners worship me with exclusive devotion, they are to be considered righteous because they have made the proper resolve. Quickly they become virtuous and attain lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that no devotee of mine is ever lost. All those who take refuge in me, whatever their birth, race, gender, caste, even those whom society scorns, will attain the supreme destination. What then to speak about kings and sages with meritorious deeds? Therefore, having come to this transient and joyless world, engage in devotion unto me. Always think of me, devoted to me, worship me, and offer obeisance to me. Having dedicated your mind and body to me, you will certainly come to me. Chapter 10. Listen again to my divine teachings. Desiring your welfare because you are my beloved friend, I shall reveal them to you. Neither celestial gods nor the great sages know of my origin. I am the source from which the gods and the great seers come. Those who know me as unborn and beginless, and as the supreme Lord of universe, they among mortals are free from illusion and released from all evils. From me alone arises the variety of qualities in humans, such as intellect, knowledge, clarity of thought, forgiveness, truthfulness, control over senses and mind, joy and sorrow, birth and death, fear and courage, non violence, equanimity, contentment, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. The seven great sages, the four great saints before them, and the 14 Manus are all born from my mind. From them, all the people in the world have descended. Those who know in truth my glories and my divine powers become united with me through unwavering bhakti yoga. Of this there is no doubt. I am the origin of all creations. Everything proceeds from me. The wise who know the perfectly worship me with great faith and devotion. With their minds fixed on me and their lives surrendered to me, my devotees ever remain or ever content in me. They derive great satisfaction and bliss in enlightening one another about me and in conversing about my glories. Those whose minds are always united with me in loving devotion, I give the divine knowledge by which they can attain me. Out of compassion for them who dwell within their hearts, I destroy the darkness born of ignorance with the luminous lamp of knowledge. Arjun asked, you are the supreme divine personality, the supreme abode, supreme purifier, eternal God, primal being, the unborn and the greatest. The great sages like Narad, Asit, Deval, Vyas proclaimed this, and now you are declaring it to me yourself. I totally accept everything. You have told me the truth. O Lord, neither God nor demons can understand your true personality. Indeed, you know yourself by your inconceivable energy, the Creator and Lord of all beings, the God of gods and the Lord of the universe. Please describe to me your divine opulence by which you pervade all the worlds and reside in them. The Supreme Master of Yoga, how may I know you and think of you? And while meditating, in what forms can I think of you? Tell me again in detail your divine glories and manifestations, Janardhan. I can never tire of hearing your nectar. Lord spoke, I shall now briefly describe my divine glories to you, for there is no end to their detail. I am seated in the heart of all living entities. I am beginning, middle, and end of all beings. Amongst the 12 sons of Aditi, I am Vishnu. Amongst the luminous objects, I am the sun. Know me to be Marichi amongst the Maruts and the moon amongst the stars in the night sky. I am the Samved among the Vedas and Indra amongst the celestial gods. Among the senses, I am the mind. Amongst the living beings, I am the consciousness. Amongst the Rudras, know me to be Shankar. Amongst the semi celestial beings and demons, I am Kuber. I am Agni amongst the Vasus, and Meru amongst the mountains. I am Brihaspati amongst warrior chiefs. I am Kartikeya. Among priests, I am Brihaspati. Among warrior chiefs, I am Kartikeya. Amongst reservoirs of water, know me to be the ocean. I am Bhrigu amongst the great seers and transcendental Om amongst the sounds. Amongst the chants, know me to be repetition of the holy name. Amongst immovable things, I am the Himalayas. Amongst trees, I am the people tree. Of the celestial sages, I am Narad. Amongst the Gandharvas, I am Chitrarth. And amongst the Siddhas, I am Sage Kapil. Amongst horses, know me to be Uchi Shrava, begotten from the churning of ocean of nectar. I am Airavata amongst all the lordly elephants and the king amongst humans. I am Vrajra, thunderbolt, amongst the weapons, and Kamdhenu amongst the cows. I am Kamdev, the god of love, amongst all causes of procreation, and among serpents I am Vasuki. Amongst the snakes I am Anant. Amongst aquatics I am Varun. Amongst the departed ancestors I am Aryama. Amongst dispenser of law I am Yamraj, the lord of death. I am Prahlad amongst the demons. Amongst all the controls I am time. Know me to be the lion amongst animals and Garud amongst the birds. Amongst purifiers I am the wind, and amongst wielders of weapons I am Lord Ram. Of water creatures I am crocodile, and of flowing rivers I am Ganges. Know me to be the beginning, middle, and end of all creation. Among sciences, I am the science of spirituality, and in the debates, I am the logical conclusion. I am the beginning A among all letters. I am the dual word in grammatical compounds. I am the endless time, and amongst creators, I am Brahma. I am all devouring death, and I am the origin of those things that are yet to be. Amongst feminine qualities, I am fame, prosperity, fine speech, memory, intelligence, courage, and forgiveness. Amongst the hymns in the Samaveda, know me to be the Brihat Sama. Amongst poetic meters, I am Gayatri. Of the 12 months of the Hindu calendar, I am Margshish, and of the seasons, I am spring, which bring forth flowers. I am the gambling of the cheats and the splendor of the splendid. I am the victory of the victorious and the resolve of the resolute, the virtue of the virtuous. Amongst the descendants of Vrishni, I am Krishna. Amongst the Pandavas, I am Arjun. Know me to be Vedvyas amongst the sages and Shukracharya amongst the great thinkers. I am just punishment amongst means of preventing lawlessness and proper conduct among those who seek victory. Among secrets I am silence, and I am wise, and in the wise I am their wisdom. I am the generating seed of all living beings, O Arjun. No creature moving or non-moving can exist without me. There is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have declared to you is merely a sample of my infinite glories. Whatever you see beautiful, glorious, powerful, know it to be spring from a spark of my splendor. What need is there for all this detailed knowledge, Arjun? Simply know that I am one fraction of my being. I pervade and support this entire creation. I forget where I am and do not know where to go. You are the shelter of the universe. Please have mercy on me. I see all the sons of Dhritarashtra along with their allied kings, including Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and the generals from our sides rushing headlong into your fearsome mouths. I see some of their heads smashed between your terrible teeth. As many waves of the rivers flowing rapidly into oceans, so are these great warriors entering you in your blazing mouths. As moths rush with great speed into fire to perish, so are all these armies entering with great speed into your mouth. With your fiery tongues, you are licking up the hosts of living beings on all sides and devouring them with your blazing mouth. You are scorching the entire universe with the fierce, all pervading rays of your effulgence. Tell me who you are, so fierce of forms. O God of gods, I bow before you. Please bestow your mercy on me. You who existed before all creation, I wish to know who you are, so I do not comprehend your nature and workings. For I do not comprehend your nature and workings. The Supreme Lord said, I am mighty time, the source of destruction that comes forth to annihilate the worlds. The Supreme Lord said, I am mighty time, the source of destruction that comes forth to annihilate the worlds. Even without your participation, the warriors arrayed in the opposite army shall cease to exist. Therefore, arise and attain honor, conquer your foes, and enjoy prosperity. Chapter 11. Arjun said, having heard the supremely confidential spiritual knowledge which you have revealed out of compassion for me, my illusion is now dispelled. I have heard from you in detail about appearance and disappearance of all living beings, and also about your eternal magnificence. You are precisely what you declare yourself to be. Now I desire to see your divine cosmic form. If you think I am strong enough to behold it, then kindly reveal that imperishable cosmic form to me. My hundred and thousands of wonderful forms of various shapes, size, and colors. O scion of Bharata, the 12 sons of Aditi, the 8 Vasus, the 11 Rudras, the twin Ashwini Kumars, as well as the 49 Maruts and many more marvels never revealed before. Behold, behold now, Arjun, the entire universe with everything moving and non-moving assembled together in my universal form. Whatever else you wish to see, observe it all within this universal form. But you cannot see my cosmic form with these physical eyes of yours. Therefore, I will grant you divine vision. Behold my majestic opulence. Having spoken thus, the Supreme Lord of Yoga, Sri Krishna, displayed his divine opulent form to Arjun. In that cosmic form, Arjun saw unlimited faces and eyes, decorated with many celestial ornaments and wielding many kinds of divine weapons. He wore many garlands on his body and was anointed with many sweet smelling heavenly fragrances. He revealed himself as the wonderful, infinite Lord, whose face is everywhere. If 1,000 suns were to be blaze forth together in the sky, they would not match the splendor of that great form. Arjun could see the totality of the entire universe established in one place, in that body of the God of gods. Then Arjun, full of wonder and with his hair standing on end, bowed his head before the Lord and addressed him with folded hands. Shri Krishna, I behold within your body all the gods and hosts of different beings. I see Brahma seated on the lotus flower. I see Shiv, all the sages and the celestial serpents. I see your infinite form in every direction with countless arms, stomachs, faces, and eyes. O Lord of universe, whose form is the universe itself, I do not see in you any beginning, middle, or end. I see your form adorned with a crown and armed with a club and disc, shining everywhere as the abode of splendor. It is hard to look upon you in the blazing fire of your effulgence, which is radiating like the sun in all directions. I recognize you as the supreme, imperishable being, the ultimate truth to be known by scriptures. You are the support of all creations. You are the eternal protector of Sanatan Dharma. You are the everlasting supreme divine personality. You are without beginning, middle, or end. Your power has no limits. Your arms are infinite. The sun and the moon are like your eyes, and fire is like your mouth. I see you warming the entire creation by your radiance. The space between heaven and earth and all the directions is pervaded by you alone. Seeing your wondrous and terrible form, I see the three worlds trembling in fear. All the celestial gods are taking your shelter by entering into you. In awe, some are praising you with folded hands. That great sages and perfected beings are extolling you with auspicious hymns and profuse prayers. The Rudras, Adityas, Vasus, Sadhyas, Vishwavedas, Ashwini Kumars, Maruts, ancestors, Gandharva, Yaksha, Asura, and Siddhas are all beholding you in wonder, in veneration of your magnificent form with many mouths, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, stomachs, and teeth. All the worlds are terror stricken, and so am I. O Lord Vishnu, seeing your form touching the sky, effulgent in many colors, these warriors stand already slain by me, and you will only be an instrument of my work. Drona, Bhisham, Jayadratha, Karn, and other brave warriors have already been killed by me. Therefore, slay them without being disturbed. Just fight, and you will be victorious over your enemies in battle. Hearing those words, Keshav Arjun trembled with dread. With palms joined, he bowed before Sri Krishna and spoke in faltering voice, overwhelmed by fear. O Master of the senses, it is but apt that the universe rejoices in giving you praise and enamored by you. Demons flee fearfully from you in all directions, and hosts of perfected saints bow to you, who are even greater than Brahma. O the Great One, who are even greater than Brahma, the original Creator, why should they not bow to you? O Lord of the Devatas, O refuge of the universe, you are imperishable reality, beyond both the manifest and the non manifest. You are primeval God and the original divine personality. You are sole resting place of this universe. You are both the knower and the object of the knowledge. You are supreme abode, possessor of infinite forms. You alone pervade the entire universe. You are Vayu, god of wind, Yamraj, god of death, Agni, fire, Varun, water, Chandra, moon. You are creator, Brahma, and great grandfather of all beings. I offer my salutations unto you 1,000 times. My salutations to you from the front and the rear, indeed from all sides. You possess infinite valor and might and pervade everything, and thus you are everything. Thinking of you as my friend, I presumptuously addressed you as O Krishna, O Yadav, O my dear friend. I was ignorant of your majesty, showing negligence and undue affection. And if justly I treated you with disrespect while playing, resting, sitting, eating when alone, or before others, for all that I crave forgiveness. You are the Father of entire universe, of all moving, non-moving objects. You are the most deserving worship and the Supreme Master. When there is none equal to you in all three worlds, then who can possibly be greater than you? Therefore, O adorable Lord, bowing deeply and prostrating before you, I implore you for your grace. As father tolerates his son, a friend forgives his friend, and a lover pardons the beloved. Please forgive me for my offenses. Having seen your universal form, I had never seen before, I feel great joy, and yet my mind trembles with fear. Please have mercy on me and show me your pleasing form. O thousand armed ones, though you are the embodiment of all creation, I want to see you in your four-armed form, carrying the mace and the disc and wearing the crown. Arjun, being pleased by you, my yoga, my power, I gave you a vision of my resplendent, unlimited, primeval cosmic form. No one before you has ever seen it. Not by study of Vedas, not by performance of sacrifices, rituals, or charity, not even practicing austerities has any mortal ever been able to see what you have seen. Be neither afraid nor bewildered on seeing this terrible form of mine. Be free from fear and with a cheerful heart behold me once again in my personal form. Having spoken thus, the compassionate son of Vasudeva displayed his personal four-armed forms again. Then he further consoled the frightened Arjun by assuming his gentle two-armed form. O Shri Krishna, seeing your gentle human form, I have regained my composure and my mind is restored to normal. This form of mind that you are seeing is exceedingly difficult to behold. Even the celestial gods are eager to see it. Neither by the study of Vedas nor by penance, charities, fire sacrifices can I be seen as you have seen me. By unalloyed devotion alone I can be known, and I am standing before you. Therefore, on receiving my divine vision, the scorcher of foes, one can enter into me, into union with me. Those who perform all their duties for my sake, who depend upon me and are devoted to me, who are free from attachment and without malice towards all beings, such devotees certainly come to me. Chapter 12. Arjun inquired, between those who are steadfastly devoted to your personal form and those who worship the formless Brahman, whom do you consider to be more perfect in yoga? Those who are fixed their minds on me and always engage in my devotion with steadfast faith, I consider them to be the best yogis, who fix their minds on me and always engage in my devotion with steadfast faith. But those who worship the formless form of the Absolute Truth, the imperishable, the indefinable, the unmanifest, the all pervading, the unthinkable, the unchanging, the eternal and immovable, by restraining their senses and being even minded, such persons engaged in the welfare of all living beings also attain me. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifest, the path of realization is full of tribulations. Worship of the unmanifest is exceedingly difficult for the embodied beings. But those who dedicate their actions to me, regarding me as a supreme goal, worshipping me and meditating on me with exclusive devotion, I swiftly deliver them from the ocean of birth and death, for their consciousness is united with me. Fix your mind on me alone and surrender your intellect to me. Thereupon you will always live in me. Of this there is no doubt. If you are unable to fix your mind steadily on me, then practice remembering me with devotion while constantly restraining the mind from worldly affairs. If you cannot practice remembering me with devotion, then try to just work for me. Thus, performing devotional service to me, you shall achieve the stage of perfection. If you are unable to even work for me, then try to renounce the fruits of your actions and be situated in the self. Better than mechanical practice is knowledge. Better than knowledge is meditation. Better than meditation is renunciation of fruits of actions. For peace immediately follows such renunciation. Better than mechanical practice is knowledge. Better than knowledge is meditation. Better than meditation is renunciation of fruits of action. For peace immediately follows such renunciation. Those devotees are very dear to me who are free from malice towards all living beings, who are friendly, compassionate. They are free from attachment to possessions and egotism, equiposed in happiness and distress, and ever forgiving. They are ever content, steadily united with me in devotion, self controlled, of firm resolve, and dedicated to me in mind and intellect. Those who are not a source of annoyance to anyone and who in turn are not agitated by anyone, who are equal in pleasure and pain, and free from fear and anxiety, such devotees of mine are very dear to me. Those who are indifferent to worldly gains, externally and internally pure, skillful, without cares, untroubled, and free from selfishness in all undertakings, such devotees of mine are very dear to me. Those who neither rejoice in mundane pleasures nor despair in worldly sorrows, who neither lament for any loss nor hanker for any gain, who renounce both good and evil deeds, such persons who are full of devotion are very dear to me. Those who are alike to friend and foe, equiposed in honor and dishonor, cold and heat, joy and sorrow, and are free from all unfavorable associations. Those who take praise and reproach alike, who are given to silent contemplation, content with what comes their way, without attachment to the place of residence, whose intellect is firmly fixed in me, and who are full of devotion to me, such persons are very dear to me. Those who honor this nectar of wisdom declared here have faith in me, and are devoted and intent on me as the supreme goal. They are exceedingly dear to me. Chapter 13. Arjun, okay, Shiv, I wish to understand what are Prakriti and Purush and what are Kshetra and Kshetragya. I also wish to know what is true knowledge and what is the goal of this knowledge. O Arjun, the body is termed as the Kshetra, and one who knows this body is Kshetragya, nor of the field, but the sages who discern the truth about both. I am also the knower of all the individual fields of activities, the understanding of the body as the field of activity, and the soul and God as the knowers of the field. This is the true knowledge. I will explain to you what field is and what is nature is. I will also explain how change takes place within it, from what it was created, who the knower of the field of activities is, and what his powers are. Great sages have sung the truth about the field and the knower of the field in manifold ways. It has been stated in various Vedic hymns and specially revealed in Brahma Sutra with sound logic and conclusive evidence. The field of activities is composed of five great elements: the ego, intellect, unmanifest primordial matter, the 11 senses, and the five objects of the senses: desire and aversion, happiness and misery, the body, consciousness, and will. All these comprise the field and its modifications. Desire, aversion, happiness, misery, body, consciousness, will. All these comprise the field and its modifications. Humbleness, freedom from hypocrisy, non-violence, forgiveness, simplicity, service of the Guru, cleanliness of the body and the mind, steadfastness and self-control, dispassion towards the objects of the senses, absence of egotism, keeping in mind the evils of birth, disease, old age, death, non-attachment, absence of clinging to spouse, children, home, even-mindedness amidst desires and undesired events in life, constant and exclusive devotion towards me, an inclination for solitary places and an aversion for mundane society, constancy in spiritual knowledge and philosophical pursuit of the absolute truth. All these are declared to be knowledge, and what is contrary to it is ignorance. I shall now reveal to you what ought to be known, and by knowing which one attains immortality. It is the beginless Brahman which lies beyond existence and non-existence. Everywhere are his hands and feet, eyes, heads, and faces. His ears too are in all places, for he pervades everything in the universe. Though he perceives all sense objects, yet he is devoid of the senses. He is unattached to everything, and yet he is the sustainer of all. Although he is without attributes, yet he is the enjoyer of the three modes of material nature. He exists outside and inside all living beings, though those are moving and not moving. He is subtle and hence he is incomprehensible. He is very far, but he is also very near. He is indivisible, yet he appears to be divided amongst living beings. Know the supreme entity to be the sustainer and highlighter and creator of all beings. He is the source of light in all luminaries and is entirely beyond darkness of ignorance. He is knowledge, the object of knowledge and the goal of knowledge. He dwells within the hearts of all living beings. I have thus revealed to you the nature of the field, the meaning of knowledge, and the object of the knowledge. Only my devotees can understand this in reality, and by doing so, they attain my divine nature. Note that Prakriti, material nature, and Purush, individual souls, are both beginningless. Also know that all transformations of the body and three modes of nature are produced by material energy. In the matter of creation, the material energy is responsible for cause and effect. In the matter of experiencing happiness and distress, the individual soul is responsible. In matter of creation, material energy is responsible for cause and effect. In matter of experiencing happiness and distress, individual soul is responsible. When the Purush, individual soul, seated in Prakriti, desires to enjoy the three gunas, attachment to them becomes the cause of its birth in superior and inferior wombs. Within the body also resides the Supreme Lord. He is said to be the witnesser, permitter, supporter, enjoyer, controller, and Paramatma, Supreme Soul. Those who understand the truth about Supreme Soul, the individual soul, material nature, and the interaction of the three modes of nature will not take birth here again. They will be liberated regardless of their present condition. Some try to perceive the Supreme Soul with their hearts through meditation. Others try to do so through cultivation of knowledge, while still others strive to attain that realization by the path of action. There are still others who are unaware of the spiritual path, but they hear from others and begin worshipping the Supreme Lord. By such devotion to hearing from saints, they can gradually cross over the ocean of birth and death. O best of Bharatas, whatever moving or unmoving being you see that is not to be the combination of the field of the activities and the knower of the field. They alone truly see who perceive the Paramatma, Supreme Soul, accompanying the soul in all beings, and who understand both to be imperishable in the perishable body. Those who see God as Supreme Soul, equally present everywhere in all living beings, do not degrade themselves by the. Those who see God as the Supreme Soul, equally present everywhere in all living beings, do not degrade themselves by their mind. Thereby they reach the supreme destination. They alone truly see who understand that all actions of the body are performed by material nature, while the embodied soul actually does nothing. When they see the diverse variety of living beings situated in the same material nature and understand all of them to be born from it, they attain the realization of Brahman. The Supreme Soul is imperishable, without beginning, devoid of any material qualities, O son of Kunti. Although situated within the body, it neither acts nor it is tainted by material energy. Space holds everything within it, but being subtle does not get contaminated by what it holds. Similarly, though its consciousness pervades the body, the soul is not affected by the attributes of the body. Just as one sun illumines the entire solar system, so does the entire individual soul illumine the entire body with consciousness. Those who perceive with eyes of knowledge the difference between body and knower of the body and the process of release from material nature attain the supreme destination. Chapter 14. The Divine Lord said, I shall once again explain to you the supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledges, by knowing which all great saints attained highest perfection. Those who take refuge in this wisdom will be united with me. They will not be reborn at the time of creation, nor destroyed at the time of dissolution. The total material substance, Prakriti, is the womb. I impregnate it with individual souls, and thus all living beings are born. For all species of life that are produced, the material nature is the womb, and I am the seed-giving father. Arjun, the material energy consists of three gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. These modes bind the eternal soul to the perishable body. Amongst the sattva guna, the mode of goodness, being purer than others, is illuminating and full of well-being. It binds the soul by creating attachment for a sense of happiness and knowledge. Rajoguna is of nature of extreme passion. It arises from worldly desires and affections and binds the soul through attachment to fruitive actions. Tamoguna, which is born of ignorance, is the cause of illusion for the embodied souls. It deludes all living beings through negligence, laziness, and sleep. Sattva binds one to material happiness. Rajas conditions the soul towards actions, and tamas clouds the wisdom and binds one to delusion. Sometimes goodness prevails over passion and ignorance. Sometimes passion dominates goodness and ignorance, and other times ignorance overcomes goodness and passion. When all the gates of the body are illumined by knowledge, know it to be a manifestation of mode of goodness. When the mode of passion predominates, the symptoms of greed, exertion for worldly gain, restlessness, and craving develop. Inertia, negligence, and delusion, these are dominant signs in the mode of ignorance. Those who die with predominance of sattva reach the pure abodes which are free from rajas and tamas. Of the learned, the pure abodes of the learned. Those who die with prevalence of mode of passion are born among people driven by work, while those dying in the mode of ignorance take birth in the animal kingdom. It is said, the fruit of action performed in the mode of goodness bestow pure results. Actions done in mode of passion result in pain, while those performed in the mode of ignorance result in darkness. From the mode of goodness arises knowledge, from the mode of passion arises greed, and from the mode of ignorance arises negligence and delusion. Those situated in the mode of goodness rise upward. Those in the mode of passion stay in the middle, and those in the mode of ignorance go down. When wise persons see that all work, there is no agent of action other than the three gunas, they know me to be the transcendental to these gunas. They attain my divine nature. By transcending the three modes of material nature associated with the body, one becomes free from birth, death, old age, and misery and attains immortality. What are the characteristics of those who have gone beyond the three gunas? How do they act? How do they go beyond the bondage of the gunas? The person who are transcendental to the three gunas neither hate illumination born out of sattva, nor activity born of rajas, nor even delusion born of tamas when these are abundantly present, nor do they long for them when they are absent. They remain neutral to the modes of nature and are not disturbed by them. Knowing it is the only the gunas that act. They act. They stay established in self without wavering. Those who are alike in happiness and distress, who are established in the self, who look upon a clod, stone, piece of gold as of equal value, who remain the same amidst pleasant and unpleasant events, who are intelligent, who accept both blame and praise with equanimity, who remain the same in honor and dishonor, who treat both friends and foe alike, and who have abandoned all enterprises. They are said to have risen above the three gunas. Those who serve me with unalloyed devotion rise above the three modes of material nature and come to the level of the Brahman. I am the basis of formless Brahman, the immortal and imperishable, of eternal dharma and of unending divine bliss. Chapter 15. The Supreme Personality said, they speak of an eternal Ashwath tree with its roots above and branches below. Its leaves are the Vedic hymns, and one who knows the secret of this tree is the knower of the Vedas. The branches of the tree extend upward and downward, nourished by three gunas, with the objects of the senses as tender buds. The roots of the tree hang downwards, causing the flow of karma in the human form. Below its roots, branching out causing karmic actions in the world of humans. The real form of this tree is not perceived in this world, neither its beginning nor end, nor its continued existence. But this deep rooted Ashwath tree must be cut down with a strong axe of detachment. Then one must search out the base of the tree, which is the Supreme Lord, from whom streamed forth the activity of the universe a long time ago. Upon taking refuge in Him, one will not return to this world again. Those who are free from vanity and delusion, who have overcome the evil of attachment, who dwell constantly on the self and on God, who are free from desire to enjoy the senses and are beyond the dualities of pleasure and pain, such liberated personalities attain my eternal abode. Neither the sun nor the moon nor fire can illumine the supreme abode of mine. Having gone there, one does not return to the material world again. The embodied souls in the material world are my eternal fragmental parts, but bound by material nature, they are struggling with the six senses, including the mind. As the air carries fragrance from place to place, so does embodied soul carry the mind and senses with it when it leaves an old body and enters a new one. Using the sense perception of the ears, eyes, skin, tongue, and nose, who are grouped around the mind, the embodied soul savors the objects of the senses. The ignorant do not perceive the soul as it resides in the body and as it enjoys sense objects, nor do they perceive it when it departs, but those who possess the eyes of knowledge behold it. Striving yogis too are able to realize the soul enshrined in the body. However, those whose minds are not purified cannot recognize it, even though they strive to do so. Know that I am the brilliance of the sun that illuminates the entire solar system. The radiance of the moon and the brightness of the fire also come from me. Permeating the earth, I nourish all living beings with my energy. Becoming the moon, I nourish all plants with the juice of life. It is I who take the form of the fire of digestion in the stomach of all living beings and combine with the incoming and outgoing breaths to digest and assimilate the four kinds of food. I am seated in the hearts of all living beings, and from me come memory, knowledge, and all forgetfulness. I alone am to be known by all the Vedas, and I am the author of the Vedant and the knower of the meaning of Vedas. There are two kinds of beings in the creation. The Shar is perishable and the Akshar is imperishable. The perishable are all beings in the material realm. The imperishable are the liberated beings. Besides these is the Supreme Divine Personality, who is the indestructible Supreme Soul. He enters the three worlds as the unchanging controller and supports all living beings. I am transcendental to the perishable world of matter and even to the imperishable soul. Hence, I am celebrated both in the Vedas and the Smritis as the divine personality. Those who know me without doubt as the Supreme Divine Personality truly have complete knowledge. They worship me with their whole being. I have shared this most secret principle of the Vedic scriptures with you. By understanding this, a person becomes enlightened and fulfills all that is to be accomplished. Chapter 15. Krishna said, They speak of an eternal Ashwath tree with its roots above and branches below. Its leaves are the Vedic hymns, and one who knows the secret of this tree is the knower of the Vedas. The branches of the tree extend upwards and downwards, nourished by the three gunas, with the objects of the senses as tender buds. The roots of the tree hang downward, causing the flow of karma in human form. Below its roots branch out, causing karmic actions in the world of humans. The real form of this tree is not perceived in this world, neither its beginning nor end, nor its continued existence. But this deep rooted Ashwath tree must be cut down with the strong axe of detachment. Then one must search out the base of the tree, which is the Supreme Lord, from which streamed forth the activity of the universe a long time ago. Upon taking refuge in Him, one will not return to this world again. Those who are free from vanity and delusion, who have overcome the veil of attachment, who dwell constantly on the self and on God, who are free from desire to enjoy the senses, and are beyond the dualities of pleasure and pain, such liberated personalities attain my eternal abode. Neither the sun nor the moon nor fire can illumine the supreme abode of mine. Having gone there, one does not return to the material world again. The embodied souls in this material world are my eternal fragmental parts, but bound by material nature, they are struggling with the six senses, including the mind. As the air carries fragrance from one place to another, so does the embodied soul carry the mind and senses with it when it leaves an old body and enters a new one. Using the sense perceptions of eyes, ears, skin, tongue, nose, which are grouped around the mind, the embodied souls savor the object of the senses. The ignorant do not perceive the soul as it resides in the body and as it enjoys sense objects, nor do they perceive it when it departs. But who but those who possess the eyes of knowledge can behold it. Striving yogis too are able to realize the soul enshrined in the body. However, those whose minds are not purified cannot recognize it, even though they strive to do so. Know that I am the brilliance of the sun that illuminates the entire solar system. The radiance of the moon and the brightness of the fire also come from me. Permeating the earth, I nourish all living beings with my energy. Becoming the moon, I nourish all plants with the juice of life. It is I who take the form of the fire of digestion in the stomach of all living beings and combine the incoming and outgoing breaths to digest and assimilate the four kinds of foods. I am seated in the heart of all living beings, and from me, memory, knowledge, and forgetfulness come. I alone am the known. I am to be known by all Vedas. I am the author of Vedas and knower of the meaning of Vedas. There are two kinds of beings in creation, the Shar, perishable, and the Akshar, imperishable. The perishable are all beings in the material realm. The imperishable are all the liberated beings. Besides these, the Supreme Divine Personality, who is the indestructible Supreme Soul, He enters the world as the unchanging controller and supports all living beings. I am transcendental to the perishable world of matter and even to the imperishable soul. Hence, I am celebrated both in the Vedas and the Smritis as the Supreme Divine Personality. Those who know me without doubt as the Supreme Divine Personality have complete knowledge. They worship me with their whole being. I have shared this most secret principle of Vedic scriptures with you. By understanding this, a person becomes enlightened and fulfills all that needs to be accomplished. Chapter 16. The Supreme Divine Personality said, "These are the saintly virtues of those endowed with divine nature: fearlessness, purity of mind, steadfastness in spiritual knowledge, charity, control of the senses, sacrifice, study of the sacred books, austerity and straightforwardness, non-violence, truthfulness, absence of anger, renunciation, peacefulness, restraint from fault finding, compassion towards all living beings, absence of covetousness, gentleness, modesty and lack of fickleness, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, bearing enmity towards none, and absence of vanity." The qualities of those who possess a demonic nature are hypocrisy, arrogance, conceit, anger, harshness, and ignorance. The divine qualities lead to liberation, while the demonic qualities are the cause for continued bondage. Destiny of bondage. Continuing destiny of bondage. Grieve not, Arjun, you are born with saintly virtues. There are two kinds of beings in the world, those endowed with divine nature and those possessing a demonic nature. I have described the divine qualities in detail. Now, here the demonic nature. Those possessing a demonic nature do not comprehend which actions are proper and which are improper. Hence, they possess neither purity nor good conduct nor even truthfulness. They say the world is without absolute truth, without any basis for moral order, and without a God who has created or is controlling it. It is created from combination of the two sexes and has no purpose other than sexual gratification. Holding fast to these views, these misdirected souls with small intellect and cruel actions, arise as enemies of the world, threatening its destruction, harboring insatiable lust, full of hypocrisy, pride, and arrogance. The demonic cling to their false tenets. Thus illusioned, they are attracted to the impermanent and work with impure resolve. They are obsessed with endless anxieties that end only with death. Still, they maintain with complete assurance that the gratification of desires and accumulation of wealth is the highest purpose of life. Held in bondage by hundreds of desires and driven by lust and anger, they strive to accumulate wealth by unjust means, all for the gratification of their senses. The demonic person thinks, I have gained so much wealth today, and I shall now fulfill this desire of mine. This is mine, and tomorrow I shall have even more. That enemy has been destroyed by me, and I shall destroy the others too. I am like God Himself. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect. I am powerful. I am happy. I am wealthy, and I have highly placed relatives. Who else is equal to me? I shall perform sacrifices to the celestial gods. I shall give alms. I shall rejoice. In this way, they are deluded by ignorance. Possessed and led astray by such imaginings, enveloped in a mesh of delusion and addicted to the gratification of sensuous pleasures, they descend to murkiest hell. Such self-conceited and stubborn people, full of pride and arrogance in their wealth, perform ostentatious sacrifices in the name only, with no regard to the rules of the scriptures. Blinded by egotism, strength, arrogance, desire, anger, the demonic abuse me, who I am present in their own body and in the bodies of others. These cruel and hateful persons, the vile, vicious of humankind, I constantly hurl them in the wombs of those with similar demonic nature, in the cycle of rebirth in this material world. These ignorant souls take birth again and again in the demonic wombs. Failing to reach me, they gradually sink to the most abominable type of existence. There are three gates leading to hell of self-destruction for the soul: lust, anger, and greed. Therefore, one should abandon all three. Those who are free from the three gates to darkest endeavor for the welfare of their soul and thereby attain the supreme goal. Those who act under the impulse of desire, discarding the injunctions of scriptures, attain neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme goal in life. Therefore, let the scriptures be your authority in determining what should be done and what should not be done. Understand the scriptural injunctions and teachings, and then perform your actions in the world accordingly. Chapter 17. Arjun asked, where do they stand who disregard the injunctions of scriptures but still worship with faith? Is their faith in the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance? The Supreme Personality said, every human being is born with innate faith, which can be of three kinds: sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic. Now hear about them from me. The faith of all human conforms to the nature of their mind. All people possess faith, and whatever the nature of their faith, that is verily what they are. Those in the mode of goodness worship the celestial gods. Those in the mode of passion worship the yakshas and rakshas. Those in the mode of ignorance worship ghosts and spirits. Some people perform the stern austerities that are not enjoined by scriptures, but rather motivated by hypocrisy and egotism. Impelled by desire and attachment, they torment not only the elements of their body, but also I, who dwell within. them as the Supreme Soul. Know these senseless peoples to be of demonical resolve. The food that people prefer is according to their disposition. The same is true for sacrifice, austerity, charity. They are inclined or predisposed towards. Now, hear of the distinctions from me. Persons in the mode of goodness prefer foods that promote lifespan and increase virtue, strength, health, happiness, and satisfaction. Such foods are juicy, succulent, nourishing, and naturally tasteful. Foods that are too bitter, too sour, salty, very hot, pungent, dry, and full of chilies are dear to persons of passion. Such foods produce pain, grief, disease. Foods that are overcooked, stale, putrid, polluted, impure are dear to persons in the mode of ignorance. Sacrifice that is performed according to scriptural injunctions without expectation of rewards, with firm conviction of the mind that is a matter of duty, is the nature of goodness. Know that sacrifice performed for material benefit or with hypocritical aim is the mode of passion. Sacrifice devoid of faith and contrary to injunctions of scriptures, in which no food is offered, no mantras chanted, and no donation made, is in the mode of ignorance. When worship of Supreme Lord, the Brahmins, the Supreme Master, the wise, and the elders is done with observance of cleanliness, simplicity, celibacy, non-violence, then this worship is declared as austerity of the body. Words that do not cause distress are truthful, inoffensive, and beneficial, as well as regular recitation of Vedic scriptures are declared as austerity of speech. Serenity of thought, gentleness, silence, self-control, and purity of purpose, all these are declared as austerity of mind. When devout person with ardent faith practices these threefold austerities without yearning for material rewards, they are designated as austerities in the mode of goodness. Austerity that is performed with ostentation for the sake of gaining honor, respect, adoration is in the mode of passion. Its benefits are unstable and transitory. Austerity that is performed by those with confused notions and which involves torturing the self or harming others is described as the mode of ignorance. Charity given to a worthy person simply because it is right to give without consideration of anything in return at the proper time, at the proper place, is stated to be in the mode of goodness. But charity given with reluctance, with the hope of a return or an expectation of a reward, is said to be in the mode of passion. And that charity which is given at wrong place and wrong time to unworthy persons without showing respect or with contempt is held to be in the mode of nescience. The words Om Tat Sat have been declared as symbolic representations of supreme absolute truth. From the beginning of creation, from them came the priests, scriptures, and sacrifice. Om Tat Sat. Therefore, when performing acts of sacrifice, offering charity, or undertaking penance, expounders of Vedas will begin by uttering Om according to the scriptures. Persons who do not desire fruitive reward but seek to be free from material entanglements utter the word Tat along with acts of austerity, sacrifice, and charity. The word Sat means eternal existence and goodness. It is also used to describe an auspicious action. Being established in performance of sacrifice, penance, and charity, it is also described by the word Sat. And so, for any act for such purposes is named Sat. Whatever acts of sacrifice, charity, or penance are done without faith are termed Asat. They are useless both in this world and the next. Chapter 18. Arjun. Krishna, I wish to understand the nature of sannyas, renunciation of actions, and tyaga, renunciation of the desire for the fruits of actions. I also wish to know the distinction between the two. Krishna, giving up the actions motivated by desire is what the learned understand as sannyasi. Relinquishing the fruits of all actions is what is tyagi. Some learned people declare that all kinds of actions should be given up as evil, while others maintain that acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. My conclusion on the subject of renunciation is to be heard. For renunciation has been declared to be of three kinds. Actions based upon sacrifice, charity, and penance should never be abandoned. They must certainly be performed. Indeed, acts of sacrifice, charity, and penance are purifying even for those who are wise. These activities must be performed without attachment and expectation of rewards. This is my definite and supreme verdict. Prescribed duties should never be abandoned, should never be renounced. Such deluded renunciation is said to be in the mode of ignorance. To give up prescribed duties because they are troublesome or cause bodily discomfort is renunciation in the mode of passion. Such renunciation is never beneficial or elevating. When actions are undertaken in response to duty and one relinquishes attachment to any rewards, it is considered renunciation in the nature of goodness. Those who neither avoid disagreeable work nor seek work because it is agreeable are persons of true renunciation. They are endowed with quality of mode of goodness and have no doubts about the nature of work. For the embodied being, it is impossible to give up activities entirely, but those who relinquish the fruits of their action are said to be truly renounced. The threefold fruits of actions, pleasant, unpleasant, mixed, accrue even after death to those who are attached to the personal reward. But for those who renounce the fruits of their actions, there are no such results in here or hereafter. Now learn from me about the 5 factors that have been mentioned for the accomplishment of all actions in the doctrine of Sankhya, which explains how to stop the reactions of the karmas. The body, the doer, that is soul, the various senses, the many kinds of efforts, and the divine providence. These are the 5 factors of action: the body, the doer, the various senses, the efforts, and the divine providence are the 5 factors of actions. These 5 are the contributory factors for whatever action is performed, whether proper or improper, with body, speech, mind. Those who do not understand this regard the soul as the only doer. With their impure intellect, they cannot see things as they are. Those who are free from the ego of being the doer and whose intellect is unattached, though they may slay the living beings, they neither kill nor are they bound by action. Knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower. These are the 3 factors that induce action: the instrument of action, the act itself, and the doer. These are the 3 constituents of action. Knowledge, action, and the doer are declared to be of 3 kinds in the Sankhya philosophy, distinguished according to their 3 modes of material nature. I will explain the distinctions here. Understand that knowledge to be in the mode of goodness, by which a person sees one undivided, imperishable reality within all diverse living beings. The knowledge is considered to be in mode of passion, by which one sees manifold living entities in diverse bodies as individual and unconnected. That knowledge is said to be in the mode of ignorance, where one is engrossed in a fragmental concept as it encompasses the whole, and which neither is grounded in reason nor based on truth. Action that is in accordance with scriptures, free from attachment and aversion, and done without desire for rewards, is in the mode of goodness. Understand, action that is prompted by selfish desire, enacted with pride, and full of stress is in the nature of passion. The action is declared to be in mode of ignorance, which is begun out of delusion, without thought to one's own ability and disregarding consequences, loss, and injury to others. The performer is said to be in the mode of goodness when he or she is free from egotism and attachment, endowed with enthusiasm and determination, and equiposed in success and failure. The performer is considered in the mode of passion when he or she craves the fruits of the work, is covetous, violent-natured, impure, and moved by joy and sorrow. A performer in the mode of ignorance is one who is undisciplined, vulgar, stubborn, deceitful, slothful, despondent, and a procrastinator. the distinctions of intellect and determination according to the three modes of material nature, I will describe in detail. The intellect is said to be in the nature of goodness when it understands what is proper action and improper action, what is duty and non duty, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating. The intellect is considered in the mode of passion when it is confused between righteousness and unrighteousness and cannot distinguish between the right and the wrong. That intellect which is shrouded in darkness, imagining irreligion to be the religion and perceiving untruth to be the truth, is in the mode of ignorance. The steadfast willpower that is developed through yoga and which sustains the activities of the mind, the life affairs, and the senses is said to be determination in the mode of goodness. The steadfast willpower by which one holds on to duty, pleasures, and wealth out of attachment and desire for rewards is determination in the mode of passion. The unintelligent resolve is said to be determination in the mode of ignorance, in which one does not give up dreaming, fear, grieving, despair, and conceit. The three kinds of happiness in which the embodied soul rejoices and can even reach the end of all suffering. That which seems like poison at first but tastes like nectar in the end is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness. It is generated by pure intellect that is situated in self-knowledge. Happiness is said to be in the mode of passion when it is derived from the contact of the senses with their objects. Such happiness is like nectar at first but poison at the end. The happiness which covers the nature of the self from beginning to the end and which is derived from sleep, indolence, and negligence is said to be in the mode of ignorance. No beings, no living beings on earth or higher celestial abodes of this material realm is free from the influence of the three modes of material nature or gunas. The duty of Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras are distributed according to their qualities in accordance with their gunas and not by birth. Tranquility, restraint, austerity, purity, patience, integrity, knowledge, wisdom, and belief in a hereafter. These are the intrinsic qualities of work for Brahmins. Valor, strength, fortitude, skill in weaponry, resolve, never to retreat from battle, large-heartedness in charity, and leadership abilities. These are the natural qualities for the work of Kshatriyas. Agriculture, dairy farming, and commerce are the natural works for those with the qualities of Vaishyas. Serving through work is the natural duty for those with the quality of Shudras. By fulfilling their duties, born of their innate qualities, human beings can attain perfection. Now, here, how one can become perfect by discharging one's prescribed duties. By performing one's natural occupation, one worships the Creator from all living entities have come into being and by whom the whole universe is pervaded. By such performance of work, a person easily attains perfection. It is better to do one's own dharma, even though imperfectly, than to do another's dharma, even though perfectly. By doing one's innate duties, a person does not incur sin. One should not abandon duties born of one's nature, even if it sees defects in them. Indeed, all endeavors are veiled by some evil, as fire is veiled by smoke. Those whose intellect is unattached everywhere, who have mastered the mind and are free from desires by the practice of renunciation, attain the highest perfection of freedom from action. O Arjun, I shall now explain how one who has attained perfection of cessation of actions can also attain Brahmin by being firmly fixed in transcendental knowledge. One becomes fit to attain Brahmin when he or she possesses a purified intellect and firmly restrains the senses, abandoning sound and other objects of senses, casting aside attraction and aversion. Such a person relishes solitude, eats lightly, controls body, mind, and speech, is ever engaged in meditation and practices dispassion, free from egotism, violence, arrogance, desire, possessiveness of property, and selfishness. Such a person situated in tranquility is fit for union with Brahman. One situated in transcendental Brahman realization becomes mentally serene, neither grieving nor desiring, being equitably disposed towards all living beings, such a yogi attains supreme devotion unto me. Only by loving devotion to me does one come to know who I am in truth. Then, having come to me, my devotee enters in full consciousness of me. My devotees, though performing all kinds of actions, take full refuge in me. By my grace, they attain the eternal and imperishable abode. Dedicate your every activity unto me, making me as your supreme goal, taking shelter of the yoke of intellect. Keep your consciousness absorbed in me always. If you always remember me, my grace, you shall overcome all obstacles and difficulties. But if you do to pride, do not listen to me, my advice, you will perish. If motivated by pride, you think I shall not fight, your decision will be in vain. Your own nature will compel you to fight. O Arjun, the action which out of delusion you do not wish to do, you will be driven to do by your own inclination, born of your own material nature. The Supreme Lord dwells in the hearts of all living beings. According to their karmas, He directs the wanderings of the soul who are seated on a machine made of material energy. Surrender exclusively unto Him with your whole being. By His grace, you will attain perfection, perfect peace, and the eternal abode. Thus I have explained to you this knowledge that is more secret than all secrets. Ponder over it deeply and then do as you wish. My supreme instruction here again, the most confidential of all knowledge, I am revealing this for your benefit because you are very dear to me. Always think of me, be devoted to me, worship me and offer obeisance to me. Doing so, you will certainly come to me. This is my pledge to you. Abandon all varieties of dharma and simply surrender into me. I shall liberate you from all sin reactions. Do not fear. This instruction should never be explained to those who are not austere or those who are not devoted. It should also not be spoken to those who are averse to listening to spiritual topics and especially not to those who are envious of me. Amongst my devotees, those who teach this most confidential knowledge perform the greatest act of love. They will come to me without doubt. No human being does more loving service to me than they, nor shall there ever be anyone on this earth more dear to me. And I am proclaiming that those who study this sacred dialogue of ours will worship me with their intellect, though through the sacrifice of knowledge. That is my view. Even those who only listen to this knowledge with faith and without envy will be liberated from sins and attain the auspicious abodes where the pious dwell. O Arjun, having heard me with a concentrated mind, have you heard me with a concentrated mind? Have your ignorance and delusions been destroyed? Arjun said, O infallible one, by your grace my illusion has been dispelled and I am situated in knowledge. I am now free from doubts and I shall act according to your instructions. Sanjay said, thus have I heard this wonderful conversation between Krishna and son of Vasudeva, the Arjun, the noble-hearted son of Pritha. So thrilling is the message that my hair is standing on end. By grace of Ved Vyasa, I have heard this supreme and most secret yoga from the Lord of Yoga, Krishna himself. As I repeatedly recall this astonishing and wonderful dialogue between Supreme Lord Krishna and Arjun, I rejoice again and again. And remembering the most astonishing and wonderful cosmic forms of Lord Krishna, great is my astonishment and I am thrilled with joy over and over again. Wherever there is Sri Krishna, the Lord of Yoga, and wherever there is Arjun, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be unending opulence, victory, prosperity, and righteousness. Of this I am certain.